Okay, Natalie. So we are live now, and I'm going to make you host. Okay.
Sure, I'll pop you back to co-host and I'll give it a minute for people to come in and then I'll just get started, okay?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
All right, let's go. Oops, hang on, what did I do? There we go. All right, you're back to co-host and
Thank you.
oh, there's somebody there.
Yeah.
Lovely. I will get started. I'll turn my camera. Oops, I want to turn my camera on properly.
Okay.
There we are. There we are.
Get you on the screen.
All right. Okay, welcome, RuPaul. Thank you for joining us. I'm sorry if I have mispronounced your name. Please feel free to correct me. Right. Okay, I'm just hitting record. Let's see, there we go. Okay, we are recording. Let's see if anybody else comes into the class today. So thank you for joining me. We're also live streaming. Okay, here comes somebody else. Oh, we've got a few people coming on in right now. So welcome. Would you care to share where you are streaming from? Where are you watching us from today? You can type that in the chat box or you could unmute yourself and let us know if you'd like to do so. So, oh boy, I'd love to say your name. I'm like, so sorry. I'm going to I'm sure mispronounce them. Jayashri, Gosh, and Shri. Again, feel free to correct that pronunciation. Lovely to see you there with your camera on. Vivian's just connecting to audio. All right, here we've got some, that wasn't very good English, was it? We have some more people coming in. So I'll just let a couple come in. Okay, Jyoti is coming in right now. Vivian's still trying to connect to audio. Vivian, you might have to click on the connect to computer audio button. Alma is coming in as well. So it looks like we've got people from all around the world right now. And I'm only judging by names. So what I'm going to do, as people continue to come in, I'm going to start to share my screen. So I will do that so you can make sure that this is the class that you were planning on coming into. So thank you so much for coming to class today. And this class is called Simple Strength. Right, it's a movement class. The moves that we are going to be doing are simple. They may not be easy. That's all about you, how you'd like to approach it. So if you want to make it harder, you can give it a little bit more, what's the word? I can't think of the word. You can make it more dynamic. You can add some more resistance into your own body with the moves that we're doing, or you could take it easy. You could back it off. So a little bit, a lot. That's up to you how you approach the class today. So welcome everybody. Now, for those who are new here to my class, you're probably not new to Get Set Up. You might be, however. My name's Natalie W. There's a couple of us here in Melbourne, Australia, where the time is now 4 p.m. So I've been teaching movement, on Monday, by the way, I've been teaching movement since 2001, and that started with a yoga teacher training that I did in Bangalore in India, and it has culminated in many, many years of asking why and how the body moves. How do we do this? Why do we do this? How do we feel this, and where, and all of that. So I've done Pilates trainings, personal training, all sorts of different workshops, lots of feet workshop, and lots of strength type of stuff, which is what I'm wanting to share with you here today. Right, so my mission is to basically learn the stuff and then to share them with other people to help you become stronger and more empowered and able to be a active person throughout your entire life. Right, just keep moving up until we're not moving anymore. All right, a little bit of housekeeping for Get Set Up. So if you're new here, this may be quite important. Right, we learn from each other. So in an ideal class, you'd have your camera switched on. And that way in particular, if you don't understand something that I'm saying or something doesn't make sense or you can't quite do a move that I'm doing, you might get some inspiration or some ideas of how somebody else is doing it maybe slightly differently. So that's a good reason to have your camera on. If you don't want your camera on, that's perfectly fine. You can keep your cameras turned off as well. If you enjoy the class and you'd like to do it again, you're more than welcome to request a recording. And then all you need to do for that is to email help@getsetup.io and they'll send you a copy of this class today. So if you are joining by live stream, we're live streaming this class. That's fantastic, but you may get more out of it. The best way to participate is to join us by registering for the class and then actually coming on board. I'm very happy for you to unmute yourself and ask some questions as I'm going through anytime throughout the class. Or if you are not comfortable unmuting yourself, please feel free to type a question into the chat box. Nick, who is our technical assistant, is also here to help you with any technical issues that you may have. So again, type those into the chat box and he'll help you out with those. And also if I miss a question, maybe Nick will interrupt and let me know that a question is there, or I'll get to it later on. Get Set Up aren't paid to promote any specific products, so you won't find me selling anything to you here. And hello, Sue, over in Perth. Good to see you there. Right. Okay.
Correct. Sorry, couldn't get in. I've been battling to get in. It wouldn't allow me in. So I'm sorry I'm late.
Oh, that's okay. You're here now. That's all that matters. That's all we can ask of you. All right. So one more word from me here before we start is please check with your doctor if you have any medical issues and you're new to any exercise. I'm a movement professional. I am not a medical professional. So if your doctor or a physical therapist or someone of the medical profession has given you contrary advice to what I'm saying, please take their advice over mine, right? They'll know your body better. But you are actually the person who knows your body the best. So please check in with yourself, see how you're feeling. If it doesn't feel good, stop and have a rest, or maybe reposition, maybe try it a different way. All right, that is it for my screens. Now, what we're using today, what I am using, actually, I'll put myself on the big screen so you are able to see things a little bit better. So I'm going to put myself big. If you want me on a smaller screen, feel free to change your view to gallery view if you'd like to see more people in what you're doing. I will be using some little weights. Now, a lot of people do not have little weights lying around at home. So an alternative is something like cans of food or some water bottles. I've actually had a person in class use a couple of whiskey bottles in his movement classes instead because he doesn't have weight. So anything that is appropriate for you. A lot of this class will be done either standing up or maybe in a kneeling kind of position down on the floor. If neither of those work for you, you can be sitting on a chair, preferably without any arms on it. And the weight movements that we're doing, you can do them seated. There'll be some other things that won't be possible in the chair, and that's fine. Have a bit of a rest there. And then if you have nothing at all that might resemble weights, cans, bottles, whatever, you can do everything without any weights whatsoever. And then one final thing, again, I've had a lot of final things, haven't I? Is I like to do my classes barefoot. So you're more than welcome to wear shoes, you're more than welcome to wear socks, but I like to do them barefoot. So that's why I don't have any shoes on my feet. So you're going to be in whichever comfort level of foot covering is right for you. Let's just start with one weight in one hand. And like I said, you can do everything without any weight entirely. So if you're standing, you're standing. If you need to be sitting, you can be sitting down. Grab the weight, and I'm going to come in closer. I'll cut my head off a little bit, but all we're going to do is move the weight around a little bit in a hand. Curl it up, curl back, up. Maybe make some circular type of movements. You're moving the weight around, getting a feel for the type of weight that you've chosen. I'm just going to keep doing them. I'm just going to angle my camera a little bit better. I had it more for a foot class this morning. Oops. I think that might be a little bit better. Ow. And tripped over my weight. There we go. I'll be able to take my hands overhead now. All right. So move all the ways. Go one way, go the other way. And then just hold onto the weight. Let your arm come by your side and take a little bit of a swing of your arm backwards and forwards with the weight. I've stepped a foot forward as well to let my arm just move forward and backward, feeling again what it's like to have that weight in my arm, how that affects my shoulders as I swing my arm backwards and forwards. I'll do 3 more. Right, it's just in the one arm. 2 and 1. Okay, and then from here, I'm going to keep my arm down by my side and just shrug my shoulder up towards my ear and then reach down towards the floor. Shrug on up and then reach on down. Again, shrug my arm up and reach on down. I'll do, say, 3 more of these. And reach down and shrug and down. And last one. And then finally, just on this one side, I'm going to do like a bicep curl. My hand comes to my shoulder. I'm going to reach on up towards the ceiling, reach up, and I'm going to do a bit of a sideways bend all together, bending over to my left side. I'm in my right arm. Come back up again. My hand's going to come down all the way down by my side. Again, hand to shoulder, reach on up. I'm going to let my shoulder reach right on up and then do a sideways bend. Rise on up again and lower my arm all the way down, reach to the floor. I'm going to do 3 more of these. Reach on up, take that bend, come on up, and then reach on down. So my shoulder blade is moving up and tilting to the side. Oh, back up again. And I'm trying to breathe as normally as I can throughout this movement. Over we go, right back up again, and then down by my side. Now let's do all that on the other side. So I've switched hands once again, maybe a curl forward, curl back, some form of movement with the weight in your hand. It can be circular movement. It can be like a figure 8. You can play it all around. But get a sense. And again, you've got a weight, you've got a can, you have a bottle of water. That can be a small one, it can be a large one. It could just be a ball or something to hold on, or a sock in your hand. Moving around. Yep. And it can be super slow or going a bit quick, a bit more quickly. Okay, lovely. All right, now 1 foot forward, 1 back. Let's let the arm swing backwards and forwards. Just allow it to swing. You can kind of push off a little bit with your feet to allow that motion to happen. Just allow your arm. It can be a big swing. It can be a small one. I've got to keep stepping backwards in the camera. How about 3 more of these? 2. And 1. Okay, release. Did I do shoulder shrugs on the other side? I'm not sure. Just shrug on up and then reach on down towards the floor. Shrug your shoulder up towards your ear and reach on down. And a few more of these. Shrug and back down. And 2 and down. And last 1. So we'll take that shrugging into a bigger movement, which is hand towards your shoulder, reach on up towards the sky, do a bend over to the side and come on back up and reverse out of there. So I think we did 5 on the other side. We'll do the same on this side. Now, if your arm doesn't want to reach right on up to the ceiling, maybe it just comes more like here and you do a bend, right? You're going to take the movement in your body that's appropriate for you, right? A lot of us can't do this big reach overhead, right? So you're taking your arm wherever you can. Right, 2 more, over, and then back. Right, so just a quick demo. If you're sitting in a chair, it'll be up and over. Right, the same thing. Come on up, and then back down again, and then pause. Pick up a weight in each hand. Now, these are for a little bit of balance. Now, actually, I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to be human and pop those down. You can use your arms as well, or hold onto a wall if you don't feel steady. This is going to be a leg swing now. So one leg is going to go backwards and forwards. You can use your arms as a little bit of counterbalance. You could hold on to your weights. I thought that might be a little bit much, but it might be good. All right, so we're now just moving our legs a little bit. So 3 more here. And then pause, and we'll switch on over your other leg. Press down through one foot. See how my arms are moving opposite to my leg. It's like if I was walking, my arms would be swinging the same type of way. Okay, we got some movement happening. That's wonderful. Okay, so I think I've got a question. My mail address. Okay, I'll get back to that. Maybe Nick can help you out with that one. Okay, nice. Alrighty, now we are going to pick up the weights if you have them in your hands, and we're going to do something that we call just a bit of a deadlift or a good morning type of motion. Maybe a little bit of a bend in your knees. This is from your hips. Your hips are going to go backwards, so you're going to hinge forward from your hips. Your arms will just hang down towards the floor, and then stand back up and push your hips forward. Right, so you're hinging. Your bottom goes back. And then you stand up, you might push your bottom forward a little bit. Go back and then stand back up. Let's do a few more of these. Hinge and come on back up. I'm going to actually do more than a few. I'm going to aim for so like 8 or so altogether. I think that might be 4 or 5. And one thing you'll notice, those of us that do movements here online aren't great counters. How about 2 more? Hinge and come on up, and last one, hinge and then come on up and pause, and then with the weights in your hand, just take a simple walk around your room. Just walk around. You might be outside, maybe walk around your garden. I don't know. Wherever you are, a little bit of a walk. We call this a suitcase carry. Okay, and then I'm just going to put one weight down. I'm going to pick the other weight up in my hands like this. I'm going to hold on with 2 hands and just bring it in front of my chest. Now my arms are going to stay like this. Now I'm going to do that same hinge, but it's going to be more of a squat. So I'm going to take my feet a bit wider. I'm going to sit on down and back and come on down, maybe a little bit. It could be the tiniest little bit, or maybe all the way down. And then come back up again, right? So we're going to take your range of a squat. All right, we're going to sit on down and come on back up. All right, so if you're in your seat, you could be going more of a backwards and a forward type of a movement here. All right, so there are some ideas. How many have we done? Let's go. 4 more. Press through your heels to come on up, right? Sit back. Push to come on up. Sit back again. Press on up. Maybe even 1 more. Back and come back up and pause. Take this weight now, the 1 weight, behind your back if you can. If you can hold on to it behind your back with 2 hands, if that's not okay, maybe hold on to 2 or forget the weight entirely and just reach your arms apart. Remember that deadlift type of movement we did already? The hinge forward just from your hips. Do the same thing again. Now with your hands behind your back and then come on back up. Right? Hinge again, you're hinging forward, your bottom goes backwards. As you stand up, your hips push forward. If you're seated in your chair, you can take another lean forward. You might be doing quite a few of those, right? Let's go. Hinge, up we go. What we're trying to do here is use the backs of our legs, right? Those big muscles, the backs of your legs, the glutes. Keep going. I'm just going to check through. I can see quite a few chats coming through. Okay. Yeah, cool. All right. So just lots of requests. That's okay. 2 more and up. And last one. And come on up. Terrific. Now grab each weight in each hand. We're going to be doing a row, and it's going to be an alternating arm one. So that movement that we just found, this bit of a hinge, we're going to come into. Put a bit of a bend in your knees, hinge a little bit forward, have your arms reaching down towards the floor. Now, it's going to alternate our arms. You're going to lead with your elbow lifting up towards the ceiling. Your arm is by the side of your body, and then you're going to reach back down towards the floor. And then you do the other arm, right? So you're lifting on up and you're reaching down to the floor. So one arm lifts and it reaches down, and then your other one lifts and reaches on down. All right, so one arm lift and lower. Your arm is practically scraping by your ribs, right? So it's touching your body. It's not going out to the side. And your shoulder blades are once again moving. They're lifting and lowering. Lift and reach. Your other arm. How many have we done? I'm aiming for 8 on each side. But let me remind you, if I'm doing too many, stop and rest at any time. I'm going to count that 6. Right? So your legs are also doing work, just holding you here in this position. And lift. Last one with one arm. And then the other one. And then come on up to standing all the way. All right, one more now in this standing position. We're going to take our hands together to our shoulders. And I'm going to reach on up. So it's an overhead press. And then I'm going to come back down. So we've already done this with one arm, but I'm not going all the way down to the floor, just the hands to shoulders. Reach on up towards the ceiling, both arms, and then hands to your shoulders again. Reach on up and hands to shoulders. Press and back. Right, we're allowing our shoulder blades to move. All right, I'm thinking that's 5, 6, reach on up and down. I can't count. I'm going to do 10. I think that's 8 already. I'm thinking we should do more. All right. Last one. And then come on back down again. Let your arms come back down all the way to the mat. And then one's going to be, actually, I'm going to let them go entirely. If you're sitting, right, we're just going to roll down. We're just going to do something like this, roll down. If you're standing, we're going to lead with the top of the head. Now let your arms dangle, right? We've got no weights now. If you really prefer to keep them, you can. You're leading with your head, your spine is rolling down, you're moving down, your arms are dangling down towards the floor here. And we're going to round and roll back on up to standing nice and tall. This is a movement that's going to take us down onto the floor, right? Let's go again. Nod and round and roll on down. See if you can let your arms dangle. See if you can let your head dangle. I find this a lot of hands are sliding down the legs. See if you can just let them hang in space and round and roll back on up to standing up nice and tall. Right now, this next one is going to get us all the way to the floor. Nod your head and round and roll on down. Bring your hands all the way down to the floor. Walk them forward and come on down onto your knees. We're going to do a little bit more work with our legs here. Now, this is going to be a bit more challenging. I'll maybe give you some variations if you're seated on a chair. We're going to try and come on up to this position. And if this is too much pressure on your knees, can you grab something like a towel rolled up or some pillows or something and kneel on them that way? It's going to be a little bit harder to get your legs around, but you're going to do the best that you can. So from this position, I'm going to try and step 1 foot forward into this kneeling lunge, and then I'm going to bring that foot back again, so knees are together. Then I'm going to step the other foot forward and then bring it back. Right, so I'm alternating legs again. A little bit of movement here through my hips. I do this one in a hip class and come on back. Now keep going. So if you're in a seat, you won't be able to do that. You might want to just kind of lift a leg up and lower it, and then your other leg up and lower, right? You'll still be working your hips. And what we see a lot of here is more of a get around out to the side and then come on back. We're aiming for straight through and then straight back. I'm not the greatest example of these, but as best you can. but whatever you can do. One. And then when we think we've done a lot of those, I'm going to end up with my right leg in front of me. It doesn't matter which leg you choose. I'm actually going to curl my back toes under, and I'm going to pick up one of my weights again, holding onto it with both hands. Now this is called a halo. Before I do my arms, I'm going to set myself up with my legs by thinking about pulling my legs in towards one another. It's like this rug that I'm on. I'm trying to scrunch it up in between my legs. Then I'm going to get my hands and I'll turn around this way. It's going to go around my head. It's called a halo. So it goes around your head. You make circles and they don't have to be anywhere in particular. Now, is someone trying to ask a question? Maybe, maybe not. Two. All right, if you're not asking questions, would you mind muting yourself? I'm going to go 5 of these in one direction. That's 5 already. And I'm going to change the directions. Now, again, you're doing the movement that is okay for your shoulders. Is that 3? What a terrible counter, hey? I'm going to make that 4 and then 5. And then I'm going to put that weight back down again to the floor, but I'm going to stay here. I'm going to now get my right forearm on my right knee. I'm going to pick up the weight in my left hand. Remember that row that we did? Do the same thing here. So I'm going to just lift up through my elbow and then reach down towards the floor. Lift up again and reach on down. And lift and reach. Now, you don't have to go any further than that. If it's okay, lift up and start to turn your body a bit to the left if you've got your right leg forward, and then turn back and reach to the floor. Right? Turn, twist as you lift, and then reach back down to the floor. Twist as you lift and reach back down. Now, there's one extra version if you choose to do it. We're going to come up and we're going to reach right on up to the ceiling. So reach on up in the twist, bend again, and reach back down to the floor. Lift, twist, and reach on up, and then come back and reach to the floor. All right, let's do a few more of these. Reach up, and then come back down, and 2, reach up, and down. Last one. Reach on up and then all the way down. I'm going to leave the weight there, bring my knees together again and sit back in a bit of a child's pose. Now, it might be nice to sit right back here with your bottom on your heels. You may have your arms stretched overhead. It might be more better like this for your body. More better. The words are not coming out very well today, are they? Have a bit of a stretch out overhead with your arms. And you rest as long as you like. Then when you're ready, come on back up onto your knees. Let's do the other leg. Step your left foot forward. If you already had your left foot forward, switch it around to your right. Pick up a weight. 2 hands. Remember the halo that we did, that circular movement? Let's do that again. Going around one way. Now, yeah, your arms and shoulders will determine. It might be more circular here in front of your body. 2 and 1. Now you remember you're drawing your legs in towards one another. And let's go the other way. Circle around. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, I'm just going to turn so you can see me the other way. Now, you're going to come down towards the floor, bring your left forearm on your left knee. Sorry, I really haven't been very good at giving chair positions today, have I? Let's get there in a moment. So pick up the weight, lift up with your elbow, and reach back down to the floor. And again, lift on up and reach. So I apologize for those people who are in a chair and don't feel like you've had enough direction, right? You'll just want to maybe take your feet apart, and you can do the same thing here and reach on down. All right, I've been teaching this to a class where they're all on the floor, so sorry about that. All right, now that's your first version. If you choose to take a little bit of a twist, rotate, and then reach back down, lift on up. You can turn your body. I'm turning to the right side. My left leg is forward, reaching down. Turn and lower back down. Now, a further version would be the twist and then reach on up towards the ceiling, hand back to your shoulder, and then all the way down towards the floor. Lift, twist, and reach, and back down again, reach to the floor. Lift, twist, and reach. Can you find the way that feels right for you? 2 to go. Reach. Back down to the floor. Last one. Reach up and then reach back down. Pop the weights aside. Come back to your knees. Maybe take a bit of a stretch. It could be here like this with your arms reaching out. If you're still just seated on a chair, you might want to give yourself a bit of a hug. Instead, you could wrap your arms. Even if you're in this position, you could be up here and give yourself a hug. That's an alternative. Right, if you're hugging yourself, switch around, go the other way. And then release. Now, come on up to this high kneeling position, or if you're comfortable sitting like this, sit like this. You could be seated in a chair, it doesn't matter. This is all for your arms and shoulders. We're going to reach our arms out in front of us, keeping your arms reaching out in front of you. They stay straight, pull them back, and then reach them forward. Now, this is a move for the shoulder blades. You're going to pull them back. What happens is your shoulder blades come towards each other when you pull your arms back, and they go apart from each other as you reach them forward. Right, so my arms stay straight. They're just going forward and then coming back. That was hard to see that way. Reach forward and pull back. Can we do a few more of these? This is called scapular or shoulder blade protraction. They go apart. Retraction, they pull together. 2 and back. And last one. And back. And release your arms. Can we do some shoulder circles? Up, around, and down. Can you make as big a movement as your shoulders will allow you to do? Forward. If you did this super slowly, this can be really hard. All right, one more this way. And I'm going to go backwards. So I'm changing directions. Up and around and down and back. Around. Say 3 more this way. And 2. And last 1. Okay, now we're going to come back into a kneeling position. Bring your hands to the floor. Now, if this isn't possible, maybe you have a chair or something else that you can put your hands on, right, that assists you, or maybe even you have some blocks or some books that you can pop your hands onto. We're going to curl our back toes under, and we're going to try to keep our hips low, and then just simply lift your back knee off the floor. You're going to try and push your thigh bone up and then lower it back down. Right, so if I was holding onto a chair, I'd be lifting on up and then lowering. Now, what I'm trying to avoid is this kind of thing happening. I'm lifting right up. I'm going to try and keep my hips low and lift my back knee off the mat and lower. Now, again, this is going to be challenging if you're seated. It's going to be more like put your foot back and maybe you can kind of push it out a little bit and bend your knee more to the mat and push on out and bend. Do maybe 2 more on the one leg. Right, lift and lower and lift and lower. And then we'll switch on over. Other side. Let's go here. Lift and lower. So you're pressing down through your feet. You're trying to lift up through your thigh bone. Again, holding on wherever it's okay for you. Sitting in a chair, just trying to press your thigh back behind you a little bit. Lift and lower, staying low with your hips. 2 more here. And last one. Okay. Back onto both knees. Now, this movement that we're doing, we're going to do it again, but in this position. Before we do that, we're going to see if we can put some weight on our hands and wrists with the intention of helping to strengthen them. So you take as much weight forward onto your hands and wrists as feels okay for you, and start to just shift your weight around. I'm making kind of a circular type of movement around on my wrists. Right. If it's too much weight, your bottom can be back further and you put less weight here. If it's not enough, you lean more forward and do weight here. We're all going to be different, where the weight is right for you. If you're seated in a chair, the only option I can think of is like sort of having your hands here and pushing down, maybe trying to lift your bottom off the chair and moving around a little bit like that. Right. Or just give your wrist a little bit of a stretch instead. Right. Turn your fingers into a different position and move around like that. Your hands are just facing another direction. You can be really random with how you're moving around. There's no right or wrong way here, unless it's painful, in which case you take your hips back. I'm going to do one more change of my hand position. I'm going to turn my fingers in towards my body. Now, that's because my hands will allow me to do that. Yours may not. It might be that you want to go completely the opposite way. There we go. Okay, and then we're just going to come on out of there. Again, it might be up here. You might be able to sit down on your feet, in which case your feet are going to get a little bit of a stretch. Give your hands a bit of a shake. Maybe intertwine them, do some circular kind of movements here. It's like a bit of a figure 8. My hands and wrists are going to go the other way, which I find really hard to do. I can go one way, but not the other. And then another little shake. All right. Now when it comes to the shoulders, remember arms forward and back, but we're putting weight on them. So if this is not appropriate, do it in that kneeling position or a seated position again. Remember your arms stay straight. Your body is in this tabletop position. So I'm not sinking down like a cow pose. I'm not sort of rounding up like a cat pose. I'm in a tabletop. And I'm going to press down through my hands and then just let my chest sink down towards the floor. My shoulder blades will come towards each other. I'm going to press down and lift up, and my shoulder blades will go wider apart. Right, so your body just sinks down towards the floor. Remember, your arms stay straight. You press down and your chest lifts. Your shoulder blades go wide. So we're lowering and lifting. We call this a rhomboid push-up. You know, those rhomboids, there's some muscles in between your shoulder blades there. It has all sorts of different names. Right, but it's again, it's a strengthening move for in between your shoulders. 3 more of these. 2. And last one. I do this one a lot in my shoulders class. All right. And then just a bit of a stretch here. Come on down onto your forearms. Move your knees back a little bit and just sort of move backwards and forwards a few times here, allowing your shoulders to have another type of stretch. Right, backwards and forwards. And let me just tell you where we're going after this. You might remain in a stretching position. If you're seated, right, we're going to be doing some slow push-ups. You could come and stand by a wall and you can do them more like this. You can play around like that. Right. Come on up from here. If you're on the floor, see if you can come into this kneeling push-up position and then see if you can lower yourself slowly. I'm going to try and come all the way down to the floor. That might not be possible. It might not be okay. So just do a little push up and then push up fast and sit right back in that child's pose again. Come back into your kneeling push up position. Lower yourself down slowly, 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 slowly. As slowly as you can, maybe not too slow. And then push on up and back and sit right off. Bit of a stretch through your arms. Again, forward, kneeling push up. Slowly down we come, push up, back. Now that's one way of doing it. Another way would be to lift your knees up off the mat. You can choose. Come on down again. Keep your knees down as you push back up. I'm just going to do 2 more. You could be just here doing something like this. You decide. Down we go. That's speeding up a little bit, isn't it? Right. Push back. Last one now. Come on down slowly. Push on back. Take a moment to stretch it out. And then rise on back up. All right. Part of building strength is getting up and down from the floor. So what we're going to do is step 1 foot forward, try to remain upright in our body. Your arms can do whatever you want them to do. They can be on your leg. Lift your back knee like we were doing before and then step forward. That was my right leg forward. I'm going to keep it forward. Step my left foot back again. Bend, lower down. Bring my right knee next to my left. Sit down on my feet, if that's okay. Come on up now. I'm switching legs. Step your left foot forward. Lift your right knee, come up, step forward, step your right foot back, lower yourself down slowly, bring your knees together and sit down. Do that a few more times, alternating legs. Now, if you're seated, you're just going to see if you can just stand up from your chair and then sit back down again. That's going to be a great movement in itself. And come on down. Like that, right? So I'm alternating which leg I choose to come forward with first and sit down. Let's go, maybe 2 more each leg. And you know what, I'm doing them, I'm kind of racing through it a little bit. Ideally, I'd be doing this a lot slower. I'm a little bit conscious of time, running out of time. Lift and step. Another one, lower. Okay, so this is the last time I'm stepping forward with my right foot on my right leg. And with my left leg now, I'm only going to go halfway, which means I'm going to come on up to standing and I'm going to end up there. Okay, nice. Have a little walk around because we're going to be doing some lunges again in a minute. Okay. So pick up both of your weights and then we're going to step 1 foot forward. I'm stepping my right foot forward and my left foot back. Now this time I'm going to bend my back knee and my front knee together. I'm going to do a bicep curl at the same time. And then as I straighten them, I'm going to reach my arms up to the ceiling. Bend down, hands to shoulders, and reach on up. So my knees are bending, my hands come to my shoulders. I reach down to the floor, get a bit lower, hands back to the shoulders, and my legs straighten on up. Right. So there's a bit of balance involved here as well. You're going to do what you can. If you're seated, you're just doing the arm movements. Reach. I have no idea, again, how many I've done. So it's a good idea, if you're doing these at home on your own, is to actually set a timer, and rather than repetition, maybe you do it by time, 30 seconds, 45 seconds. I'm going to do 1 more here. And then I'm going to step forward. I'm going to switch over legs. So my right foot comes back. How did I start? Right, bend, Right, bicep curl, and then press up, and then keeping my arms and my legs going. So there's a little bit of brain training involved in this one too. Right, can you move your arms and legs? They're going kind of together. Reach down and up. How about 3 more of these? 2, up, last one, and up. I'm going to bring my arms down so I can step forward, and then I want to do a one-legged motion. Now, remember the deadlifts that we did before? This is now going to occur on one leg. You can choose to have 2 weights in your hand. I like it for balance. Both arms are hanging down to the floor. You could hold them to 1 or none. Now, it's that hip hinge. I'm going to start with my right leg forward. I'm going to slide my left foot back on the mat, and you can keep your foot touching. You're going to hinge forward. Maybe you choose to lift your leg off the mat, and you're going to come on back up to standing. Again, hinge. You could slide your left foot back. You can stay there, or it can lift up off the mat. Your arms are coming down towards the floor. I'm going to use the standing leg to lift you up tall. All right, so maybe your foot continues to stay in contact with your mat or your floor. Maybe it's okay to lift it on straight up. You decide what's right for you. Right, what is this, about 5? I'm going to go for 8 as well. And I'm trying to do them relatively slowly. 6, 2 more, 7. And if 8 is too many on one leg, switch on over. You can switch a couple of times each side. 8, and lift on up. Let's do the other side. All right, that's a lot of work. I want the back of my leg doing some work here. All right, so the other side, maybe we start with the foot making contact with the floor, and then come on back up. It doesn't have to lift off, right? But I want to put more weight onto my standing leg, even if my other foot is making contact with the floor the whole time. And 4. Whoa. And 5. And you'll find if you stay on the same leg for a number of repetitions, your body may just figure out how to get some of that balance. Often it becomes easier, unless you're thinking about how hard it is, in which case it becomes more challenging to balance. I think I'll do 1 more here. Right. And come on back up to standing. It might be nice to have another walk around after that. Let your legs move a little bit more. All right, so we've done a lot of bending the arms and reaching overhead. I want to do something more like a fly. So once you have had a little bit of a walk around, if you're okay to keep going, right? And if you're sitting, you're just going to lean forward, hinge forward again. There's your same position that we were just doing with one leg. Your arms are reaching down towards the floor. Now, instead of bending, there's a little bend in your elbows. You're going to take your arms out to the sides, reach on up, and then reach back down to the floor. All right, let me show you from here. It's going to go out to the sides and back down towards the floor. Out we go, and down, and 4. So these little weights, right, after all these exercises can get quite heavy, right? What is that, 6, and 7, and 8, and come down, lift yourself back up. And then remember when we did some roll downs to get ourselves down onto our hands and knees before? We're going to do those, but hold on to the weights this time. So from here, bit of a bend in your knees, nod your head again, and roll on down. letting your arms dangle, letting the weight kind of pull you down. So you have this extra resistance to stop from just sort of flopping down towards the floor. Just come to where you can and then round and roll back on up to a standing upright position. I'm going to do 2 more of those. So I'm going to nod my head and round and roll down towards the floor. And round and roll back on up to standing on nice and tall. And then one final one. Over we go. Round and roll. And around and roll back on up to standing. Right, and a couple of times now we've done the shoulder rolls. Let's do it now with those weights in our hands. See how different that feels. I'm going to go the other way. I just did 3 here, 3 the other way, 2 and 1, and then just keeping the weights in your arms. Just some simple neck rolls. If that doesn't feel okay in your neck, you do little circles in the space with your nose. I'm going to just drop one ear towards my shoulder and then just turn my head down towards my chest and go around. Right, just holding the weights in my head will just give me some extra sense of stretch in my neck, around back. Sorry about the hair flicking around in my face. I tried to tie it up. Right, let's go the other way. Circle around. 2 and 1. And release. All right, I'm going to come on in now. I think there's been quite a few questions or comments, so I will take note of those. I'm just going to scroll through, and please, if you have, also pop myself back on gallery view so I can see more of you. We just have a look through. What is the weight of the, okay, sorry about that, it's taken me so long to get to you. Mine are 2 kilos, so it's just pretty heavy when you're doing lots of them. That's just what I happen to have at home. All right, who's Bertilda? Okay, that was my question. Okay, all right, this class is now, oops, no, that's not the question from you, blah, 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 blah. Okay, the volume has gone off. Okay, hopefully you got your volume back. Sorry. I have shoulder pain. Can I do these exercises? Are you still here? I'm not sure. Yes, you can. If you have pain, you can do exercises. You might want to make them really small, right? Make a much smaller movement, or just do the ones that feel okay for you. So are you still here? Sorry, I need my glasses. Deepika, are you here? No, I don't think you are. Oh, yes, you are. You are there. Deepika, were you able to do those exercises? Hopefully there was something there that you could do. And if not, you can't do the shoulder ones. You can just do the leg ones and then rest when the shoulder ones are there. Michael, I can see your smiling face there. It's good to see you as well. I said hello to see you before. All right. I had to log in and that. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through the questions now. Okay, that's it. Would anyone like to unmute themselves? Do you have any questions for me that I might be able to help you with? I'm actually quite shocked so many people are here. I was quite nervous in that class because I was expecting no one to be here. I'm used to people in the morning but not in the afternoon, so I'm like, whoa, I don't know why I was so nervous. All right, okay, thank you. All right, I'm going to just share my slides with you to do my finishing housekeeping. So thank you so much for joining me here in class today. I hope you got something out of it, something that you can take into the rest of your daily life, and something of benefit for you to help you feel a little bit stronger. If you are enjoying your experiences here in Get Set Up, please, if you're on social media, use the hashtag or the @ symbol and Get Set Up words after that in your social media posts, or if you have some stories you'd like to share with the world, email Liz at getsetup.io. There she is. There she likes to share our stories with people and help them to find us here. There are so many fitness classes now on Get Set Up. I'm sure you'll find one to suit your needs. I'll be sending a quick email after this class is finished with a couple of suggestions for you, but scroll through the schedule. There's heaps, there's so many different things. There'll be something that you will enjoy doing. So get into them, give them all a bit of a try. My next class is tomorrow. It's in about, I don't know, probably about 12 hours time. And it is a core and stretch class. So focus on sort of the belly, pretty much the whole body as well. All right, so notes that I already mentioned, I'll be sending to you. We'd love it if you could recommend this class to a friend, and we'll also be prompting you for some feedback. So it'll come naturally to 4 stars. Feel free to add an extra star if you felt the class was worthy of that, or you can also take some stars away. But if you do that, please let me know why. I'm here for you. So if I can fix anything or change anything to make it more suitable for you and your body in the moment, I will do my best to do so. But it would be good to know what you would like. Okay, right. So when you register for a class, you'll be asked to invite a friend, and all you need to do is click on the link that comes up. You can see some examples here on the screen, and you'll be sent a link to share with a friend. And that way you can either share experiences, not just online, but also you can talk to your friends about what you've been doing, what you've been getting up to, and maybe give each other some tips and tricks for things that you've learnt from Get Set Up. And then finally, if you'd like to host an interest group, if you would like to be on this side of the camera, let us know. Or you might have a class suggestion, something that you don't already see in our schedules and you'd like to see it, let us know about that. One more time, we'd like you to share with any organisation that you might be a part of that Get Set Up is out there. So as many people as possible can get some benefit from the classes that we offer here. And last but not least, if you'd like to do this class again, please request a session recording. And for any of that or any other help that you might like, all you need to do is email help@getsetup.io. And that's it for my promotions. If you have any questions now, if you've thought about anything in the meantime, or you'd like to make any other comments, please let me know. Unmute yourself. Say something.
Great class, Natalie. That was
Thanks
really
so much, Sue. Were you able to?
Yeah.
Cold. What are you all rugged up?
It's cold here on the west. I put my jacket back on. We will be. I went through and was working with Michael in the lounge where there's more space, and that's why I turned my video off. But yeah, we'll be doing it more often. It's lovely. It was just what we were looking for, so it's great.
Excellent. Oh, thanks so much for that. That was lovely. All right. Okay. Anyone else?
Good. It's my first time I've done some exercise for decades. I could have watched the whole class.
Okay, well, they're all there. You know, there's lots on the schedule there. You can pick and choose them all. I'll give you some suggestions of some other ones you can do. So cool. All right. Thank you, everyone, so much. And I hope to see you all again soon. Have a most wonderful day. Take care. All right. Bye.